Howdy y'all. I'm Daisy. This here is my cow Clara and my rooster Ronnie. We found this wanted sign on the farm and discovered we have some work to do learning how to add and subtract fractions. Giddy up! Let's talk about adding fractions first. Out here on the farm, we work every day to make sure our animals and crops are cared for. Yesterday, I harvested 4/6 of the field, and today I harvested 1/3. I want to know the total fraction of the field I have harvested so far. This means I need to add together 4/6 and 1/3. The problem is that you can't add fractions that don't have a common denominator. The denominator is the bottom number of a fraction, and having a common denominator means the denominators are the same number. Now, Clara here has made us a couple of models to help us find a common denominator and solve this problem. Here we have 4/6, and here we have 1/3. When I line these two models up, I can see that thirds line up perfectly with sixths. There are 2/6 in 1/3. I am going to rewrite 1/3 as 2/6 because we know they are equivalent. Now we have a common denominator and can add. When adding and subtracting fractions, you only add or subtract the numerators. The denominator always stays the same. That's why we needed to find a common one. 4/6 plus 2/6 equals 6/6. Look at that! I finished harvesting that field. Fantastic! Ronnie here counted eggs from the chicken house and found that 1/4 of the eggs were brown and 5/8 of the eggs were white. We want to know the difference in the amount of white and brown eggs. Clara made us a handy model again because we know we must have a common denominator before adding or subtracting fractions. Look at that! 4ths and 8ths line up perfectly. There are 2/8 in 1/4. We have found our common denominator, 8. I am going to replace 1/4 with 2/8 because we know they are equivalent. We know 5/8 of the eggs are white, and 2/8 of the eggs are brown. 5/8 minus 2/8 equals 3/8. Clara here made this new model for us to show the difference in the fraction of skim milk and 2% milk she made. Our job is to determine the expression that goes along with it. We can see this first model is broken into tenths and 8 pieces are colored in. This model represents the fraction 8/10. The second model is broken into 5 pieces and 2 pieces are colored in. This model represents the fraction 2/5. If we want to find the difference, we need to subtract 2/5 from 8/10. We must have a common denominator in order to make this happen. We can see the fifths line up perfectly with our tenths and that there are 2/10 in 1/5. This means there are 4/10 in 2/5. I am going to replace 2/5 with 4/10 since we know they are equivalent. Now we can subtract. 8/10 minus 4/10 equals 4/10. Congratulations! You are ready to practice this skill on your own. Yeehaw!